Today, Paul, I want to look at the R of Aco-R-n. And as we know, R means report, and which is quite awkward, really, because I would have much preferred it to be testimony, just doesn't spell Aco-R-n. So report, and as we've practiced this, we practice these reports in groups. And they're ordinary, everyday reporting, of God turning up while somebody is shopping, God turning up while somebody's on a walk, God turning up, in the middle of our busyness, and in the report, it's just wonderful to study, I think, the activity of Jesus Christ in the present day moment. And that's the excitement of this reporting. Again, how does this, kind of resonate or work with you, Paul?
Michael, I love the reporting bit. And I think it is so key that because it keeps the fire going, it keeps the embers together. When I've got an Aco-R-n meeting coming in the day, I'm looking forward to it, and there's this expectancy that's rising in my mind. Oh, who's gonna come on? What are they going to share? And I honestly, Michael, after having done so many of these, every time I am surprised. There is a passage in Luke chapter 10 where Jesus sends out the 72, and they come back. And it says, the 72 returned with joy and said, they returned with joy and said. So I think this reporting, it is not a classroom exercise. It's not a teacher, and a finger pointing thing. It is the wonders of God, and whether they are big or small in our mind, it doesn't matter. When they're of God, they're always going to be massive.
Yeah, and I think that's a kind of a key point here, is that sometimes in testimony, we have almost glorified the big. We're looking for the big, testimony. But what the Aco-R-n practice has allowed us to do is to see that God is in the small, everyday reporting. And sometimes you can come to an Aco-R-n group and think, well, I've got very little to report at all. And yet, kind of we are often finding, within what might look as a small, insignificant report, the activity of God. Again, I think you may have found that also, Paul.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed, Michael, kind of like with groups that have been going a little bit longer, is that people really ease up on the reporting. And I think the excitement grows because we just know that we'll talk about the stuff that God is doing. We talk about the stuff that God has done in the past, thousands of years ago, but also in the here and now, in our lives. And God is very clear that when we learn to be faithful in the small things, that he will give us bigger things. We have been called and we have been chosen. So this reporting bit is just wonderful to do that with a great cloud of witnesses.
Yeah, so again, I think in summarizing, reporting is vital. It's gone missing in Christianity today. There's no time for it in our services, but the glorious nature of an Aco-R-n group reporting, we're worshiping God when we do that. And again, with testimony, with reporting, so much more to say.